Now, let's see what Microsoft 365 does. As we mentioned earlier, it is the large language model. It is your data within your regular Microsoft applications. So in Teams, I was invited to a meeting. I am late coming to that meeting, so I don't want to slow anyone down. I will ask Copilot to recap this meeting so far so I can catch up quickly and jump into that meeting. So I've prompted Microsoft 365 Copilot. I actually get a summary of that meeting. We've spoke about renewable energy lead time, recyclable and biopackaging lead time, inventory, and demand. Now, I want to know how the group feels about the inventory status. Google can't do that, but Copilot can do a bit of sentiment analysis. So asking how the group feels about this, and again, you will notice that there are little numbered bubbles at the end of everything, so you can actually click on it and go in the transcription of that meeting to see that citation and to really confirm that Microsoft 365 Copilot is not totally wrong or is totally wrong. Remember, it's an assistant. You also need to train, so it will get better as you keep using it. Now, I heard that the group had mixed feelings about the inventory status. What I've asked is what questions are still unresolved. The biopackaging material are new and untested, and the renewable energy products have the longest lead time. So those questions were still unresolved. So that is some examples of what you can do within Teams. What I love to use on a personal note, since I'm a lot on meetings day in, day out, I use the meeting summary. So after a meeting, I will ask, can you please summarize this meeting? Give me a list of action items. So I don't need to appoint any human being taking notes. Copilot does that for me now, and we are sure that it's equal for everyone. Now, if I go to Outlook, during those meetings, I do miss out on long conversation threads, and I have one right here. There were 6 emails exchanged, and I was CC'd on those emails. I'm busy. I don't always have the time to read through everything, so I will ask Copilot to summarize that thread for me. And I do have access to that summary, but I want to make sure is Copilot really accurate on that? So I can click here and it brings me to the email referenced in that summary. Now let's see what it does in Word. So I think in law firms, Word is probably something that is heavily used in creating documents and whatnot. This will be more of a project management demo, but I can actually ask Word to draft is the cue here, a project proposal based on a specific document that I have on SharePoint or OneDrive. So let's reference that document and generate my proposal. So as this is working, and by the way, if you're doing this in real time, this is how much time it really does take the AI tool to create your draft. So reading through it, I feel it makes sense. I will actually keep it, or I could regenerate it. So I keep that draft, but I do want a little more details within project information and the technology that is used. So I paste information that I got from a different document, and I will ask Copilot to actually draft and inspire me on what are the benefits of using those technologies. So asking Copilot to actually inspire me, not giving more information. So it's talking about laser scanning, robotic total station. I feel that seems pretty good, pretty accurate. So I will keep that document. And there you go. My document creation is good. But you can keep on interacting with the AI as much as you want. Now, what if I need to create a presentation from a document? I can actually ask Copilot to transform a file. And now I'm using the prompt suggestions but I could prompt it myself in here. And this is the file I want Copilot for Microsoft 365 to use to actually build a presentation in PowerPoint. Now, keep in mind, this is a draft. We can always adjust these drafts. I've been using this heavily. What's nice about it, it will create your agenda, the speaker notes, the images, and then you actually start from something. No more blank page syndrome. So we already have a Copilot drafted presentation. Now, how about Excel? I did mention that Excel could give you insight on your data. So I've got a spreadsheet here of sales. I will actually ask Copilot to not show the decimal points in the sales amount because I feel like it's too much noise and the numbers are not clearly seen. So I could do this one by one, but asking it, it took a few seconds and now there's no more decimal points in that column H. Now, what I want to do is I want to highlight every line that shows an amount, a gross sale over 500K. I would have to go line by line as a user, but asking Copilot for Microsoft 365, again, a few seconds and it's done. Now, how about insights on this data right here? I just need to ask Copilot for Microsoft 365 to show me insights. It actually is showing me some nice visible graphs, but I don't want this to be there. I want to be able to share this with people in my team. So I will ask that all insights are added to a new sheet. Now, from one sheet, we will get access to a second sheet with all those nice visual graphic for my data's insight. So this is all things that Microsoft 365 Copilot can do in your environment. And if I go back to Teams, if you have, for example, teams that were created for specific cases or for specific projects, normally you would share documents. Sharing on Teams actually creates a repository in the back end on SharePoint. So what I can do in that Copilot chat, I can ask, what are the upcoming milestones for Project Rela Cloud? It will leverage the documents that are stored for this group chat, and it's giving me the next milestones with the reference. So I can actually go to these documents and see where it got this information from, and then what are the risks? And I can ask Copilot to give me those risks. And again, quickly referencing those files, I do have mitigation, Rela Cloud risk mitigation, and the Rela Cloud project plan document that were referenced to get these legal, bias, and ethical considerations that I need to look into. And then I will ask the AI tool to suggest some mitigations for these risks. And those are suggestions, as I said before. You always have to double check that human interaction is very important. And then I will ask the Copilot for Microsoft 365 to write a message to the team outlining these risks and mitigations. So right there, I will have those files referenced again and my email right here. So those are all examples of what can be done with Microsoft 365 Copilot.